Father God, thank you so much for this blessed and beautiful day that you have given for each one of us here. Thank you for bringing us again here, Lord, yet another day to praise you, to thank you. And Lord, thank you for watching over us for all these times, Father. We give you thanks for all the blessings that you provide for us, for being with us, Lord. Father, as we come here and sit together to learn something and to share something with everyone, we ask you that you will be amidst us, you will take care of us in our thoughts, words, and deeds, Father God. We give everything into your hands. We submit each and every family members. We submit each and every individuals who's joined this group, as well as all their friends, Lord. We give them all into your hands. Keep them always safe and protected, Father God. With that, we commence and we give everything into your hands. We pray and give you thanks, Lord. All praise and honor to you, Father God. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, so as we begin this session, today's painting is done by Angela Anderson. She's a very famous YouTuber who does all painting live sessions. So if you are interested, you can watch that. So we would be doing one of her painting series, what she did for basic classes. So that's what today we will be doing. And I'll go through the material list for everyone. So you can be off the video if you want to. No, it's not that you need to be on the video. Okay, if you are, I'm fine with it as well. So this session is recorded and I will put it into YouTube so that everybody else can also view it in their own time and learn something. Okay, with that, let's go on to our paints and all the materials here. Now I'll just go with the paints itself. If you have any type of green, please do take the greens. I would like everybody to mute yourself, please. Thank you. So just a few housekeeping. If you can all be muted all the while, that would be nice. And if you have a question or doubt, please unmute yourself and ask me the question. I'm happy to help you with that. And if you don't see the painting panel page, please let me know, because you need to pin this page into your phone or your desktop so that you can see the panel and not me talking, because I'm using two screens here. So I want you to pin the panel which has got this Nisha Jibi Calgary. Okay, so please do pin it up. Okay, with that, let's go on. So any greens, I have dark, light, and I have the middle green. So please make sure that you have one of these greens with you. We would be using the green. And if you have the yellows, the deep yellow and the lemon yellow, that would be great. So please do have these two yellows if you have. Otherwise, one yellow is also good. Okay. And then we have the brown shades here. So it could be either a burnt sienna, raw sienna, dark brown, light brown, ochre. So if you have any of these shades, it would be really nice to have it. Yes, Pooja? Do you have a question, Pooja? Okay, since she's not answering, I'm continuing. So any of these colors will do. So in your palette, if you have only the dark brown, it's fine. And then we have our black and white. And then we would use a blue. It could be your light blue, dark blue, doesn't matter. So just have any type of blue. That should be good. Okay. So for this, I'm using an 8x10 panel. If you have a bigger panel, it'll be nice to give a border using a painter's tape. You can give a border and it would look really nice if you're using that. So for 8x10, why do I use an 8x10 panel is because it is small. It's easier for me to show you, and it's not like large canvas. Unfortunately, my setup is like I can't stand, even though behind my wall is plain. I could have put a panel or easel there and do it, but the camera doesn't capture it so well here. So that's why I'm using a closer easel, which is very smaller one, and this panel fits in here. So you can use this kind of a 8x10 panel, which is available in Amazon. I buy in bulk. which is helpful for me. So because the cost price comes down to like $1 for me for each panel here. With that, now for my background, I'm going to use a sponge, or if you have a bigger flat brush, you can use a bigger flat brush. So whichever comes in handy for you, you can use it. I'm going to show you with a sponge how you could do a very graded background here. So that's what we would be doing today. So my sponge is like, I'll show you. My sponge was very big, and as I started using it, yeah, it's just come to that size. But if you have one bigger, do take it. Now for the brushes, we're going to use for the chair, depending on your panel, you can use the flat brush for the chair, like big or small, whatever size that you can put in for yours. Otherwise, you can use the round brush, which is very like, in between size would also do, or you can use a flat shader. Okay, any one of these brushes will do for it. For our flowers, we will be using Q-tips. So I just picked up few Q-tips. Oh, sorry. If you can mute yourself, it would be nice, please.
Should we keep?
Okay, so I'm using Q-tips for my flowers. I'll show you how to use this. So if you have the Q-tips, it's good. Or if you have your round brush, you can use a round brush also. Okay, so with that, I am just gonna begin, and I wanna be sure my panels and everything is good enough for everybody's view. Okay, so there it goes. And then we have a foam plate. We have a water container. So please to have 2 water containers at least, because if you want to dip your brushes, wash it very well, use one of the water container and use a good water for, in case if your paint is very thick and you want to mix it. I'm using some napkins as well, which is always good to wipe off the brushes. So if everybody is good, we are good to begin with. Now for the background, this particular painting, what I'm going to show you is it's got the background, which is very rough background. So what happens is like, so I'll show you another panel, which I made it with a different gesso to give it a very rough texture. Now you can do like this also. So what did I do with this one is I used a gesso, which I'll show you. I used a what do you say? This is something which we can use it for giving a textured layer on your panel. And what we do is just apply it on the panel, leave it to dry, and later you can paint it up with a black paint. So I usually do that and keep if I need to give some textured background. So this is one of the background that they have used in the original painting here, like using a gesso, giving it layers. And so that if you see it closer, you can see that different layers have come in, right? So this is one type of a background which you can use. Now, on top of it, if I give any colors, like any of the background, if I give, it will show very clearly how it looks like a textured wall, because that's how it comes by. So this is one method to use it. So I just wanted to show you that. Now we are going to do it in a different way here. So I want you to take your sponge. Okay, so we'll be using your sponge. It can be like, any side, like for that matter, use the sponge. And for the background, we are going to use black and white. Now, black and white, I want it to be a gray. That's what my basic look wanted to be in. So I'm going to use some white. I'll show you how much I'm using it. So that white. And if you have any blues, like, what do you say? Like, I'm not saying that it should be very, I just want a little tinge of blue in my color here. Okay. So I'll show you how much I'm going to use it and mix it. And this is your me time. So use whatever colors you want to put in the background. I'm not gonna say that this is the colors that you have to use. I'm just showing you a way which you can apply and do it. So I'm using white, blue, and black here. Now with my sponge itself, I'm just gonna mix it. So I don't want to use my brush here. I will show you how it is coming out. Okay, so this is a kind of a shade that I'm looking for, and I'm just gonna dab it into my panel here. And what I'm doing is, if you see, I'm just dabbing it here. Using my same sponge, I'm just kind of applying it over the panel, and use it like this. Use it like, you're dabbing it here. So now what happens, you would get a beautiful, what do you say, a kind of a texture which looks like, in the walls. And all we are doing is just giving the background here. I'm not doing anything else, everyone. So make sure you don't have any white space. That's all. Put any colors you want to give. This is the color that I thought I'll go with the background, blue, black, and gray. I'm going to do it slowly because my the phone, which is on stand, is kind of dancing around here. Okay. And if you can see, as in kind of you're dipping in, the shades may change in, it's fine. Use more white if you need to, but just go ahead. And using a sponge, what happens is, like, you don't have to use a brush. Like, if you want, if you like to use a brush, please go ahead, but you don't get this kind of a texture here. If you see, what I'm doing is just simple way of filling up my background. Last time when we did a picture, we never filled up a background. We were using with certain places. We were just trying to kind of, fill up each and every sections of it. And with this one, what we're doing is, I'm trying to show you a different way, that by filling up a background and later putting in a picture. And how do we do that? And when you're doing this, your paint should be very dry. Please do not mix it with any water or liquid mediums or anything like that, because that's not what we want. And when you're using a sponge, it gives you a beautiful texture. And that's the only thing which I wanted to kind of bring as a highlight in my background here, because we are not going to use anything else. And please make sure there's no white space. That's all we need. Like, make sure that you kind of use your sponge very well. Fill up with the colors. And if you have a bigger panel, use a bigger sponge or a bigger brush. And when you're using white, blue, and gray directly from your foam plate, what happens is, like, each and every color can be seen at times. So if you see, there's a bluish tone here, there is a grayish tone here, there is more of white here, because I'm taking it directly from this from the board, from my palette, and then there is white here. So now this gives you a texture, just like in the painting, in a different way. In the painting, what happened was, like, she used the method which I showed you before, using a gesso. She was able to kind of fill up the whole panel. So now if you see, you should have got something similar to this. Whichever colors you have used, it's fine. No worries at all. Do not have any white spaces, like the panel space, but put them all into maximum colors of black and white and blue. And this would be your background. And my paint is already dried up because I didn't use white. Sorry, I didn't use water. So you should be having a textured background like this now. I'll just hold on to see that everybody is done this stage, because from next stage onwards, you'll have to watch me. We are going to draw the chair here. So if everybody is completed your dabbing up of your background, I want you to take probably the lighter shade. It could be the white. I'll show you because white looks more better with my background, I guess. Just to draw the outline of the chair. And you know, for acrylic painting, usually landscapes, when you're doing, it's more of white. So white may run out very soon. You may have to pick it up as a separate, just the white color itself. So just letting you know, most of the landscapes, white becomes the base of it because it brings the lighter shade. And I prefer doing landscape because it's more fun to play with colors, as well as it brings in that beautiful nature itself out for us. So my paint is, if I touch and see, I have only very light colors coming up in my fingers. So it's almost dry here, and hoping everybody else is also okay with it. Now, your chair can be in any shape, guys. Like whichever chair you want to do it. Otherwise, follow me just like that. It's fine. Appreciate if everybody can mute yourself. Now, what I'm going to do is, I want my chair to fill up at least this much of my portion, right? So I want to visualize myself, like in whichever panel that you're using, visualize yourself how much you want to fill that space up. I want to fill the space with my chair and flowers, and that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to give a light background. If you want, you can watch it, no worries at all. So just go ahead and watch. And we are doing it directly because the paint is dried for me. It should be the same for you if you have not used any water. And as I said, whichever chair you want to draw, please go ahead and do it. All I want is a chair here. If you find that your chair is like, you want to give some other combination of chair, then please go ahead and do it.
Did you use white color?
Yes, I'm just using white on this background here so that it can show up very well for you all. And when you're using white as your background, still it's good for your painting, so don't worry about it. I wouldn't prefer to use any other colors, because then that becomes like a border. With white, what we can actually blend it out well.
Is it an angular brush, ma'am?
What I'm using is a very small flat shader, dear. You can use a round brush as well.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
No problems, dear. So I'm just gonna. I'm here. Okay, I'm here. I hope everybody's able to see. Okay. And as I said, like, please go ahead and do whatever chair you want to do in. No issues. All I'm trying to give is just a background here. And forming my chair, because all these parts will be filled up with what do you say, with colors and flowers and everything. And just give it lightly, like don't make it too dark, like, okay, because we are going to fill up with all these colors and everything here, so don't worry. And okay, so did you get something rough like this, or any chair for that matter? If you have it, it's good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover this base with the plain white here. Nothing much I'm doing. Just cover it up with a little base white. If you want to mix it up with a little bit of water, not an issue. Is everybody good with the chair? If you're all good with the chair, then I can kind of continue.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thanks, dear.
Just a moment. I'm drawing. Just a moment.
Okay, okay. Okay. I hope everybody is still able to see my chair. Now I have given a very thick border here, unlike the painting itself, like, very thick base, like, the sides handle here. If you want to give a thinner one, you can give a thinner one too. And we will define the chair, don't worry. All I'm trying to do is just draw the base here. Okay. And when you put in a white, it's just like, when you adding a color on top of it, it'll look better also. That's why I'm just giving a grading shade here. Nothing else. I'm not doing anything at all here. And acrylic painting will dry up very fast. Okay. So just give what I said, as I said, your chair is yours. Do whatever you want to do with the chair, just give an outline. And when you've done with the outline, now let's go with the, filling up this chair now. And how are we going to fill up with this chair? And my chair is thick, your chair can be thin, so don't worry about it. Okay. So everybody should be having something like this or closer to this. As I said, any chair is fine, however you want to have it. Okay. And I've just given a rustic chair here. That's all. I've not done anything else. Okay, that's my legs. And that's it. Now let's get on into coloring the chair here. I want you to take, if you have the lighter shade of brown, then take that, which is either the ochre if you have, or brown or raw sienna. Okay, I'm just taking a little bit of that. And what I'm doing is I'm gonna make my chair look more rustic. I'm going with a brown chair. If you want to give any other color for your chair, please go ahead. all I'm doing is I'm just going to color my base of this chair with a brown or a light brown, whichever color that you prefer to, because I'm just going to make this as my brown chair kind of thing. So my basis here is ochre, but it looks like very dark for you there, but it's kind of okay for me. Like it's not very dark when I see it in the picture here. So just go ahead and fill up this is the base of the chair, and this was the front of the chair. So that's all I've done. The white, whichever is there, it shows up there. That's it. And I've not used water yet. So my paint is a little dry. So I've just used now a little bit of water just to bring that shade in. Okay. And wherever that white background or the coating, the outer that you have given, outer outline that you had given it, just shape it in. Like put it across with this color. So now you have a chair, which looks like somewhat like this, right? Are we all good? Okay. Now the same thing goes up as well. Up means like to the handle of the chair. Now I'm showing you simple techniques. I'm not showing you something like, what is done in a full-fledged painting class or something. What I'm showing you is something that you can enjoy yourself, as well as do it when you are free, right? So I am going into the place where I'm just showing you how to use the brushes and how to use paint mixtures and tones here. Okay, so I want to make sure that I give it a definite borders now with this color itself. So make sure that if you want to give a rustic look to your chair, then it's fine. If not, make sure that you give a sharp edges. And all we are doing is just to make sure that we give an outline and we give it straight and nice. And the painting is yours, guys. So whatever you do is beautiful. Never doubt about it. The talents that you have been blessed with, nobody has that. And you can do very well with this. And remember, I didn't learn just like that. It's all from YouTube I learned. So I give thanks to every YouTuber who spent times and hours in editing each video to help us learn something. So, I'm so grateful for each of them who spent so much of time just to, kind of do these. And you can also do it by just learning, watching and learning, but have the time for yourself, because, wherever we run across to, you should have your own me time. And if you see, all I am doing is just wherever I had given that white, I'm going over it. And when you're going over it, you can see that there is a white background behind, which gives that chair a rustic look as well. And again, it's your chair, whichever shape you want to give, you can go ahead and give it. You don't have to worry about like, why is my chair not looking like hers? No, it doesn't have to. And anytime if I am fast, please let me know, because I tend to be a little fast when I talk. So please feel free to let me know. So I hope everybody is following through like this, like just go ahead, color it. And if you have some mixed lines going off and everywhere, that's fine. Don't worry, we can touch it up later. Just draw the outline of your chair with the color here. And whichever painting that I'm showing you, the original may have a different way of presenting it. I am doing it to make sure that everybody here is able to follow. So please, like when you're watching that original video in the YouTube, the whole way of they saying and doing will be different because there could be people who already know painting and they are using a different technique. I'm trying to bring in something which is easier for you all. And, you know, chair is yours. Make your chair beautiful with whatever you want to do. You don't have to do the same exact chair like what I am doing. So please. So basically now I've given my chair the white outline all covered up with my brown. Can you see? All I did was that. Now I have my legs. So I'm going to cover up my legs here, my chair legs. Okay. And you know, you can go ahead and do the chair however you want to do. If you're if when I see my chair, okay, it looks really off, then you change your chair. That's up to you. It's okay. Nobody's going to do anything about it. Okay. Okay. Let's see how best can we do this. Probably. Okay. I'm just gonna get that very closer to that leg itself so it doesn't look bad. And don't worry, your white markings can be covered up with the background paint. So please don't think too much about it. Just draw your legs. Okay, so that's good enough for me. Okay, so you should be having something like this, guys. Everybody there? If you've got this, now let's move on to the next layer, which will darken the chair and make it look like a chair. Which I'm going to use is a darker brown. This is my brown, a dark brown that I'm going to use. All I'm going to do is I'm going to give a nice, now I'm going to make sure that my chair is going to look like a chair. So I'm going to fill up with those textures here. All I'm doing is just having some paint there and moving my paint up and down, like left and right. So when I do that stroke, what happens is like, it gives you that beautiful texture. Okay. And I'm just trying to give the front border of the chair. If your paint is dry, dip it with a little bit of water. I don't want to and that's what I'm trying to get here. And if it is too dry, your paint is not getting pulled through, use water, it's okay. And as I said, the colors that you're putting in was your colors, so don't you know, kind of stick with my colors if you don't want to. It's your painting, it's your chair. So make sure that you have that. So when I do like this, what happens?
Can I use burnt amber or amber?
You can use them, dear. You can use a burnt amber, not a problem. See, now that itself will form a texture here because of the lower layer that has been there with the ochre. And that's what I want to try to get in my chair. And if I want to make it dark, all I have to do is use a little bit more paint. And then it's kind of, you know, it gives you that look. Okay. So now we are going to go over the first layer of colors here. And now when you start defining it, make sure that you define it as like a chair itself. Like your borders and everything should be kind of straight lines or, you know, with the sharper edges. And again, since my base is already there, I'm not too much worried about it because it'll give me that kind of a rustic look already. And that's what I'm kind of getting it from here. And work with your paints faster. If the paint is getting dried up quickly, then it may not look very good. So you may have to fill up with more paints. So I would say, like, go ahead and kind of work with it faster if you can. So basically now my chair looks okay. And I'm just going to give some white just for my chair. Like, it's up to you. I just want to bring that little bit of gradient colors here, which shows a difference. And I'm going to use a little pinch of black as well. I'll show you how I'm bringing it in. So that then it shows you a, what do you say, a very different chair for me. Okay, I just want to finish up my legs as well so that I don't forget it in my process here. So make sure that you have your legs also covered up with whichever colors that you're giving in, whether it's going to be brown, black, white. Okay. And always pull the paint in one direction. Don't go zigzag. Because when the chair, when you see normal texture result, the chair looks like, it's straight enough, right? So all I'm doing is just covering up my chairs with the colors which I really want. There's my brown. So cover up your chairs and the top part, whichever colors that you really want it to be. Okay, mine is a little dark here because I touched up with a little bit of black. And I'm going to use that black here as well. Again, you are going to give in your shade for your chair what you want to give in. So don't worry about, oh, my chair looks different. It's fine. Let it look different. Your chair has got thick legs. It's fine. Everybody's chair is different. Okay. So if I want my chair to be like this, that's my chair. Whatever you want to decide with your chair, you can decide it. And that's where I'm showing you a base of a painting, and I'm doing it in a different way so that you can use your imagination. You don't have to get stuck with my the way it has been seen or shown. It's up to you guys how you want to bring it out. Okay, so all we need is a chair, and we've done a chair here. And I want to make sure that my browns are here as well. So there goes my brown. And again, my chair has got different colors. Don't worry about it. And however you give, all I'm asking you is fill up with 2 shades so that what happens, it shows well, like a lighter shade and a darker shade. And your picture comes out very well when you have a white base down. And it gives you that, that gradient look and texture itself as soon as you kind of have a couple of shades in. You don't have to try too hard about it. And if whatever shape that your chair has come out, it's fine. Background, we can fill up with something else. So just give the shape of your chair. Okay. And I'm just going to fill up this part also with the brown. And I'm using a little bit of water here just to bring the paint down because my paint is really thick. And don't worry about the background. If you've missed out something, or your leg has gone too big or short or something, we can always correct it with our background. And make mistakes. It's okay. It's not about you shouldn't make mistakes in life. You make mistakes, you learn from those mistakes. And life is just one, guys. Whatever you do in this life, that's all you can do. You can't kind of say that the next birth and the next thing. Yes, of course, it is all, the facts are all there, but we don't know when it is going to come in reality, or are we there even to see that? No, right? So you have now, enjoy it. You have now, do it. Don't wait for tomorrow. Anything for that matter. Don't wait for tomorrow. If you can do it today, do it. It could be a small, simple thing that you want to do it, but then do it. And make sure that your legs are all proportion, the chair is proportionate. It's not like it's way off. Now I want to define my stuff here. So I'm just going to make sure that and as I said, it's your chair. What you're doing with your chair is beautiful. Don't second guess it. Go ahead and put your chair in. Now I have a chair. Now I'm just going to make sure that I'm going to give some finishing touches here to give some different shades and colors so that it might look beautiful. And you also can go ahead. And all I'm doing is I've just used a little bit of white. Okay, so just to pull some paint here and there. So when you see there is that difference, that shows that there is a seat and there is that front. Okay, can you see? So now it looks like a chair, at least for me. Hopefully it does for you as well. Does it look like a chair for you guys? What have you done? So I'm going to use a little tinge of a black here just to give some variations in colors. I'll show you what I'm trying to say. Black and white are the beautiful colors because you know what? When you start mixing up, when you start putting it, it brings so much values and definitions. You feel that the picture is coming to life, even though you didn't do anything about it. Just see, I didn't do anything. All I did was took some black. I started to put a little bit here and there. And all of a sudden, my chair has got that very rustic look, which that's what I wanted. And I'm going to give my chair a more defined look, which is like kind of, if you see. And I hope everybody is working on with your chairs. Okay, so basically, I think my chair is almost kind of, it's okay. I'm happy with my chair. And for any painting, don't overdo it. Like you feel like, okay, you're done. That's it. Don't think too much about like, oh, should I do more something? No, you don't have to do anything more. No. Don't worry about it. Okay. Okay. So chair looks nice for me. It's kind of what I want to look for in a chair is there. And if everybody is good enough, please go ahead. Let's I'm just gonna mix it with a little bit of white to give a little definition for my chair handles. Again, it's your chair. Do what you want to do. Okay, so with that, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make sure that my borders are all well enough. Okay. So hope everybody is good. I think I'm kind of good with my. I'm just using my hand to, like you can use your fingers to move around the paints also. Your paint should be in a dry condition. It should not be in completely in wet mode. So please make sure you don't use so much of water. So if you see, this chair looks like it's as though built up in somewhere in some 70s, 80s, or more beyond that. Because no modern chair is going to be looking like this. But I'm happy with it. Okay, guys. So, yeah, and then give it some shades here. Okay, so can we move on to putting in flowers? Is everybody good with your chair? Anybody with questions? Nope. I hope everybody is good. Now, I just want to make sure I'm going to give some light definitions here. You can see what I'm trying to do. Bring in some lighter shade. I'll show you what I'm trying to do. Okay. I am not doing anything at all. I'm just kind of bringing in some lighter shades there to the chair so that, when from this side, when you look, there is light falling that's towards the chair and it looks nice. Okay, and you can use it with some different, some lighter color if you can, with more lighter than your other shade that you had. Okay, so I'm kind of okay with my chair. I'm not going to do much. And that's what I want to show you also. Like, you don't have to worry so much about your painting, like, if it, so I'm going to, you know what? I just feel like I can fill up this side also. I'm just going to fill it up with a little bit of that shades before, just to give a, like how it's there in the painting. Again, it's your chair. Do whatever you want to do with your chair. I just felt like I can give this to this chair, which may look nice for this. It's up to you what you want to do. So again, see, it's already kind of giving that beautiful different shades and gradients there. And I'm just going to make it a little bit darker to go it along with the background here. So if you're done with the chair, let's go on with making our flowers and greens. Is everybody good? Okay. So now if you see, the chair has got something different. it looks different. I'm okay with my chair, right? Again, as I said, it's your chair. How you want to do it is up to you. You don't have to worry about like it should be like mine. And mine is a very rustic old chair. So yeah, it's totally rustic. And you can go with your moods, whichever you want to put in. Okay, guys. So I just want to now take a little bit of gray and black. I just want to now kind of finish up my border here. I'll show you what I'm trying to say, because I just want to make sure that my chair is very much a very defined chair here. So it's with gray and it's with the same border, which the background border that I had. Okay, that's all I'm trying to do. So just defining that space there. Again, if you want, you can use your sponge. So I'm just going to put some black there. Okay. All I'm trying to do is just to define my chair a little bit more, like if I've missed out the points there in the sides and anywhere, just to bring that out. I'm not doing anything else here. Because in my background, I already have the mixed colors of gray and black. And I'm just trying to see if my borders are all looking good. Okay, so I'm actually done with my chair, guys. Now let's move on to the, so this side is already now dried up. It's kind of dry, it's good. So I'm going to use my sponge and I'm going to use the colors now. I'll show you what I'm trying to do. I'm going to take the sponge here. If you see, and I have some dark green. Use my green. Okay, use my green onto the chair because I'm going to fill up with lots of leaves. Can you see, please? Your paint should be dry at this stage. You should not be having dry because I didn't use much of water. So the same thing, you should, if you have not used much of water, your paint would be dry. Okay. And all I'm trying to do is put some green leaves here. And that's what I'm trying with first my base. I used a dark green. That's all. Okay. That's my first layer that's gone in there. I hope everybody is able to follow it. First, use a light layer. Sorry, the dark layer, which is the green one, which I have here. And now when my green is almost kind of dry, I'm using the same sponge, same place, use a little bit of another shade of green. And you don't have to use so much of paint with that small dip itself. Take the paint, move it around. Okay. And just on the chair, that's all I'm trying to do. With two different colors of green, a darker green in the background, and then there is a lighter green there. Okay, now take your round brush or the thinner brush that you have, and then we are going to give some definitions to our greens now. What are we going to do? I'm taking a lighter green. I'm just taking it directly in my brush, and I'll show you what I'm trying to do. Can you see? If your paint is still dry, it's still wet or something, you might not be able to mix it up so well. But if you have not used water, it'll come out well. Just put some dots here and there with your brushes if you can, or we can use even our Q-tips. but the paint is dry. Please do not use any water. Your paint should be dry. Okay, all I'm trying to do is bring some definition of light green into this. So that's like the bouquet of green stems coming out and in. And if you have your fan brush, you can use your fan brush as well. It'll come out well. Okay, all I'm doing is just to put some greens here and there with a lighter shade. Okay. Everybody good with the green? And as I said, I have not done anything at all, people. If you see, all I've done is taking a light green directly from my tube and doing some dotted lines, doing some leaves here and there. And you can stretch out those leaf sticks. Okay. And I'm just gonna, I'll show you with the same brush itself what I'm doing. You can also watch over because my paint is getting bright. So I actually can do some different colors, different textures. Because we're going to fill up with flowers here. I'm trying to give in the background with those stems and everything. And that's all you're doing. We will be filling up with all these places with colors, with the flowers, with whichever color you want to put in. I'm using yellow. And this you can actually give all these lines and the shades, all you can use with a fan brush as well. If you have a fan brush, you can use a fan brush too. Like how we did in the first painting, how I showed you how to use a fan brush, we can use like that. For everybody's benefit, since I didn't say about fan brush this time, I'm using the same brush here. And your paint should be dry. Okay, so I've just given a layers of green, defining it like, like leaves and everything. Go ahead, give your leaves. Okay, so you should have something similar to this, however you've got it in. Okay. Okay, now is the fun part of filling up with flowers. Okay, let's do the flowers. I'm gonna have some, I'll show you. I'll take some lemon yellow. And I'll take some deep yellow. And I will show you, I'm using these two colors here.
Nisha, sorry. For the
Yes.
leaves, what colors did you use for leaves?
Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, sure. So first I used the dark green,
Okay.
the flather green. Then I went with the middle green.
Okay.
And then I used my light green.
Okay, 3 shades of green.
3 shades of green. So if you don't have a dark green or you have only one green, what you have to do is for the first layer, mix it with little bit of dark blue or little bit of black.
Okay.
Okay, so then you will get the dark shade for the background of the leaves. And then for the middle green, what you do is add a little tinge of water to that and you can lighten that shade.
Okay.
And then it becomes the middle green.
Okay.
And to make it as a more lighter, add a little bit of white, you will get the light green.
All right, get it. Okay,
So
and you use
with
a fan
one
brush, right?
You can use a fan brush, or you can use, I just used a small a flat shader that I had here. This one,
Okay,
it's called as a
yeah,
flat shader. But even if
yeah.
you have a round brush, you can use it.
Okay, sure. And giving strokes, yeah?
Yeah, just give it a different variety of strokes because you're going to fill up with flowers. When you're filling
Okay,
up with flowers, you want to show that there's leaves somewhere, right? And that's what we
yeah.
are trying to show here.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
Doing the leaves now. Sorry,
okay,
go
fine,
ahead.
no problems.
Thanks.
So you can watch over as well as start doing along with me also. Whoever is done, so
Okay,
we can move
sure.
on.
Sure, thanks.
Okay, so everybody should be having a picture like this now. Now, the fun part is I'm using the yellows. I have a light lemon yellow. I have a deep yellow. Okay, if you prefer to have different other colors of flowers, please go ahead and do it. Nobody is stopping you from having different colors here. Okay, so that's what we're going to give. So I'm going to go with my darker yellow, that deep yellow. And what I'm trying to do is, can you see? I'm not doing anything, just with my Q-tip, use it and place it everywhere possible, little far away from each other, and go in one direction. Like even though you're just placing those flowers, just make sure that you've placed it well. And I'm using only a Q-tip, guys. I'm not using any brushes here. I'm not using anything else. And your flowers are beautiful. So go ahead, put in your flowers with pink, with purple, with magenta, whatever color you feel like. I'm just going with yellow. And give it on the greens, okay? Because that's where we want it to be specifically seen, the flowers. And if your green is not right, you might get a little shade of green and yellow. That's fine. The flowers are different. And you know what? We can actually kind of do different things with the flowers here. So make sure that, we start filling up with flowers. So I'm filling up with a deep yellow here. And I'm just trying to put it into the stems, whichever I've drawn. So it looks like as though the flowers are from the stems. Even though when you're doing a bunch of flowers here, nobody is worried about where it is coming from. And as much as possible, please make sure that the flowers, like wherever you're putting the dots, it's within that greens or closer to the greens area. And okay, so this is my first shade, which is almost kind of, I'm okay with my first. A little bit few here, few there. And I just want to make sure that I have. I'm just using a little tinge of white in between my colors here so that the highlights looks beautiful. My flowers looks nice. That's again, always when you use white, it just brings out the beautiful, gorgeous flowers out. And I'm going to use my lemon yellow now. Okay. Again, you can do it on top of those yellows. Doesn't matter. We are just filling up with some colors and flowers here. So go ahead. And, probably when the paint is a little dry, we can use some more greens to give that shape for leaves and stuff there. So. Using a lemon yellow, the color looks more, it comes out very well as well. Okay. So I'm just gonna give. And don't just kind of dab it here and there. Just try to make some sense like how the flowers are going, or, if you want to draw some leaves, yeah, go ahead and do it. But what I'm trying to say is like, make it look more natural, even for your own eyes. Okay. Now the other part of it is I'm just going to use a little bit of, I'll show you what I'm trying to do here. I'm using a little bit of green to this yellow base. And I'm just going to draw some leaves. Okay. Now this leaf can be done even with your fan brush, if you have a fan brush. And now what I did was I took a little bit of green, I took a little bit of lemon yellow and the other yellows that I had here. I'm just using that to bring a couple of leaves out and in to make it look more natural. Because this is just a bouquet, like flowers sitting on the chair. So it's got lots of green leaves, it's got lots of flowers. See, in between, if you start giving this yellow and the green, it highlights it so beautiful. And that's all you're trying to get in here. And you can fill it up with more flowers if you want to. And when you use a lemon, yellow, white, those are the highlighting colors every time in a picture frame. And it comes out very well. Now, if you see, I've just defined it with some branches, some stems and everything. So now my flowers are actually kind of, it looks as though it's coming from one place. And now I'm going to use, okay. So all I did was I used the Q-tip, I put some flowers, and then I used my brush and I did some leaves and then highlighted more with flowers, and which looks yummy and nice. I'm kind of happy with my flowers, if at all it's just flowers and leaves looks good for me on the table. And then you can make it little thinner lines as well. It doesn't have to be thicker lines, it can be thin. So now if you see, it should look somewhere or somewhat similar to this. And all we did was to bring highlights within the colors, what we did. Okay, and I'm using a tinge of greens. Okay, that looks. That's a whole lot of colors there, whole bunch of colors here. Now I'm just going to do maybe a bit of that deep lemon, deep yellow, little bit more in places where I see I can add more. And if you have seen, I have not done anything different. All I did was with the Q-tip as well as with my brush, I added some colors to the flowers. But I added those colors popping up and down. Yes? So you should have something similar to this. And I'm just going to take my dark green just to bring in some more definition of my leaves there. I'll show you what I'm trying to do with my green here, a dark green. If you see, I've just used my green in between just to give a little bit more color towards the leaves and flowers. Okay, and I'm going to use a little bit of dark. I'm just using a little bit of black. I'm going to use it a little bit in betweens just to bring that highlights there. Can you see? I've not done anything else, guys. I've just put a bunch of flowers there and, kind of made sure I'm able to show it with flowers. And I'm going to use that here as well. Maybe I'll fill it up with some colors there. So now if you see from afar, from side and near, you can actually see the defined, there is a chair there and there is some flowers on top of it. And what you've done is like simple, like you've not done too much work into it, but there is so much of techniques that we have used. First, we used in the background something with the sponge itself to give that different textured look. So we gave that. And then after that, we made sure that, we could do the chairs. So we gave the chairs a look which is like rustic or whatever you've given. Okay. And then added up the greens first, different shades of greens to make sure that, there is that definition of colors there coming from all those, and then added up flowers. We didn't do anything else at all. This is the simple painting, and I think everybody can follow it. I'm sure. I don't think anybody might have had a difficulty with following it. If anyone has it, please let me know. I'm happy to help you walk you through this. I'm just gonna define my chair a little bit darker, because as the paint dried, my chair doesn't look like it's as so completely done. Okay, and again, you want to add more color, more something to this painting, you can always add in, like, if you want to put some scarf around this chair, if you want to make sure it looks different, it's up to you. This is just a basic painting. Whatever you do is yours and it will come out beautiful. So what I'm trying to do is, because when the paint usually dries, the first layers or the second layers may not be very dark enough, and I'm just trying to do that here. Okay. So again, whatever you do is beautiful. Never doubt it. Never, never, ever doubt that. Yours is gorgeous and beautiful. Always remember. And you are wonderful and awesome. Nobody can ever take that away from you. Nobody. Unless you make a choice of not to do that. Okay. So please always remember, whoever you are made by your talents. You're made by your beautiful things that God has given you with. So never underestimate yourself at any time in your life. Never, ever. Whoever says it, just let it go off. You have to believe in yourself. You're bold, you're confident, and you can do things. So never go with somebody else who's trying to influence, saying that you're not good, you're not worth it. No, nobody ever can judge you for that. And live your dreams. Have some dreams for yourself. You want to make it happen, you will surely make it happen. And nobody stops you in that. So I think I'm kind of okay with my painting. I'm like not gonna, worry about too much. I had my 2 hours of beautiful fun having and teaching you all. I think that's all I'm trying to make here. Like, do I have my own me time? Do I have time that I can spend with myself, not thinking about today's studies, today's school work, my office work, or any of my cooking stuff or anything like that. It's just my time, what I want to do with it, how I want to do with it, right? And that's what I did. So it's up to you what you want to add more towards this colors or more towards this, fun package of the chair that you have here. But you know what, if you want, you can add whatever you feel like. Probably I'm just going to make sure that, I'm just going to go give some nice backgrounds here. See? And whatever you do, it's going to come out well, guys. So don't worry about, oh, see, I've just added up now all these whites here. Is my chair going to complain about it? No, it's not going to say anything about it. Do whatever you want to do. See, my background is like this. So give your colors, your choices, what you feel like you want to put it in. Go ahead and do it. Nobody is stopping you from that. And I'm just gonna go and do it. See? And why did I show you like this is because if you've made a mistake and you feel like my background is not looking great, my background is that and this. See my background now? It's changed, it's different. And that's what we are trying to say, that I'm trying to say to you is like, whatever you've created is beautiful, it's wonderful, it's gorgeous. And I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna give some blacks here. See, is anybody gonna ask me about it? Like, why did you give these colors? No, nobody's gonna ask me that. And I'm gonna make it more different colors. Up to me, right? Is there anybody who's going to question me? No. That's what I say, like, whatever painting that you do, you and your heart has to go with it. Nobody else is going to go with it. And your background looks amazing. Your chair looks beautiful. Always remember that. And you are absolutely awesome. Whoever says anything against that, never take it to your heart. Never, ever take it to your heart. Always remember, when the Creator created you, He put a lot of passion in you. He put lots of love in you. He created you with so much of goodness, and you have lots of talents in you, but it's just that you have to bring it out, and you can bring it out. And I hope this chair had that time for you to bring out your whatever hidden talents that you had, that you wanted to bring out. If anybody has any questions, any doubt, please let me know. I'm happy to help you here. So if I have to say, I am okay with my painting. I'm not going to do anything more towards my flowers and chair. For me, it looks like it's a bouquet of flowers sitting out somewhere. And if you want to add in some more colors of flowers here and there, probably a dot here, dot there, and I'm good. Because I don't want it to look too much more into like, just filling up space kind of thing. No, I don't want to do that. It looks nice. Sometimes when we overwork anything in our life, that's when it becomes more complicated. Life is very simple. It's beautiful. And everybody is doing such a wonderful job of, appreciating it. So go ahead and do it, guys. And if you want, as I said, you can add some orange, or if you want to add some other colors, you're free to add on those colors. For me, it's like I'm fine with this 2 shades of yellows. It's just me. Like, if, as I said, if you want to add in, please go ahead and add it. Like, nobody is stopping you from adding different colors, or if you want to make it colorful. As I said, it's your time, it's your me time, what you're doing with your time, and you're learning something new. And I hope I taught you something new here. Like, you can create your own backgrounds and you can make it more beautiful too, with however you want to make it. It could be with a sponge, it could be with a flat brush, it could be with your fingers, it could be with, even if you like lady's finger, you can take the lady's finger, cut it round, and then dip it in paint and put it in your background. That also comes out very well. So anything that you do is beautiful. It will come out well. And I hope everybody liked the session. So I'm gonna take off from the recording because the painting is done, but I will be online here with the painting to show you and wait for any questions here. Okay, and for everybody who's completed this painting and who wants to take off from the class, yes, you can go ahead. I will see you next week. But others, please stay here if you want to complete it. I'm here for some more time, so you can ask me questions as well.